You're enjoying Racing World. It's brought to you by Perspective Group. It's your global motorsport podcast show brought to you in conjunction with Race Control Magazine.
Well, welcome to another edition of Racing World. It's the first day of qualifying for the 108th running of the Indy 500 presented by Cambridge. And boy, oh boy, so far with still 2 hours to go, what an amazing day it's been. We've had a car in the wall, Renus VK on his first attempt, and boy, there was a lot of damage done to the Ed Carpenter racing car, but it will be back out, but it caused a little bit of a delay. We've had dramas for the Ganassi team, dramas for the McLaughlin team. It's been all over the place, but the three Kiwis are currently in the show, which is the one thing that counts. There's a few that are on the bubble. We're seeing Graham Rahal go from being very confident to suddenly very nervous and back in that back row yet again for the second year in a row. So the Honda cars, I think overall, are struggling for a little bit of speed. And only 1 week ago, they were on this very road course for the Indy Grand Prix, and now they're on the big oval, and the Grand Prix track becomes pretty much just a service road, and we get to get our thrills driving down it every morning as well. And the first Kiwi out on track today was Kiwi Scott McLaughlin, second car of the day to be out on the track. Temperatures were a little bit cooler then. There had been a lot of heavy fog overnight. That was starting to burn off, but it was pretty much the ideal time to be out there. And McLaughlin set the timing sheets alive, that's for sure. He was very calm and relaxed, actually, and I got to talk to him straight after that four-lap run. So, Scott, being out early in the draw today, was that much of a difference for that first run?
We'll see. I think our run was strong, but it's just getting hotter and hotter here. So, it's going to be interesting how that holds up. Obviously, the shunt right now for VK is probably pushed a lot of people further back, even people that are early in the draw. So it's going to change a few things for sure. But I think thank you. It's nice to get this get our run out of the way, and we're okay.
NBC was saying during your run that the track temperature come up nearly 1.5 degrees during that period. Is that something that you actually notice in the car? Is there a grip change or anything like that?
Slowly the grip change, but I think that's more my feel is from tyre degradation over the 4 laps. But it's about managing your tools through that run, and I felt like we did a pretty good job with that, and I think we put 4 solid laps up.
And then just final thing, I've watched you for the last few years here now at this time of the day. How do you shut everything down before you get in that car?
Just good people around me and process, just working on. It's not any different. It's the same execution that you need to hit every time, and whether it's Barber, whether it's Portland, whether it's the Indy 500, you just need to be ready to go when the time comes, and work really hard on that.
Good job, man.
Thanks, fellas. Yep. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, mate. Well, McLaughlin looking good and still on the front row, and I think that's ideal for tomorrow going into when they have the Fast 9 or Fast 12 shootout, because all you've got to do is stay in that game and be within that bubble period. So he's looking pretty good for now. And, as I said, here we are at the Grand Prix track inside this amazing facility. There's a golf course just over there as well. It is just unbelievable. For anyone who hasn't been here before, you've got to put it on your bucket list. For those New Zealanders who I know who are coming up here very shortly in the coming days, you're in for one heck of a treat. The weather is building, the temperature's building. It's building up to another great race. The second Kiwi that was out on track this morning, and the second of the Ganassi cars, was none other than Christchurch-born Marcus Armstrong. And boy, oh boy, Marcus ramped it up another notch, and it was a great performance from him, and we caught up with him as soon as he'd finished that 4-lap run. Well, Marcus, the very first qualifying at Indy, what was it like out there, the emotion before going out for that 4-lap run?
Yeah, there's a big build-up to those 4 laps. Honestly, it was probably the most difficult 4 laps I've had since we started doing quali runs yesterday. The wind is a bit different today. As you can see, VK spun at 3. The wind is sort of pushing you through there, and honestly, it was a bit of a surprise, the balance I had. So I spent the first 2 laps just trying to fix that, and then the last 2 laps just hanging on. So it's all part of the fun. Just the emotion when you're sitting in the car before that run starts, it's got to take its toll on you a little bit as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, but you have to block it out.
Yeah.
And when you're actually in the car and you're sort of a bit more comfortable. When you're standing around talking to people, that's when it's just a bit iffy. But yeah, I'm a racing driver. When you get in the car, put the helmet on, it's business as usual.
And then a unique thing to Indy, we were watching you with the cap dance at the end after you've done your qualifying run. It's quite a quirky little ritual, isn't it, with all the different caps you've got to wear?
It sure is. Yeah, some guy was getting angry at me because I had my water bottle there. I was like, dude, chill out. Yeah, I guess that's just part of the 500. There's a lot of stuff we have to do away from the track this week and next week, so I'm trying to eliminate the distractions, focus on the driving. Great moment having Rick there as well. Yeah, he's it's like watching a spaceship go by, he said, so he's all excited. And, it's cool to have him here. Hopefully next year I've got the whole family here too.
Really great to see that effort from Marcus Armstrong and, teaming up with a great team like Chip Ganassi Racing. And, of course, he's got Angela Cullen with him this year, who was formerly with Lewis Hamilton in Formula One, and spoke to her just after his qualifying run, and she was very barred up over the whole thing and believes that Marcus can win races this year and even a championship next year. So Angela seems to be in for the long haul with Marcus, and that's a great sign of things to come as well. Really great talking to her, and, of course, another Kiwi as well. So Kiwis are certainly everywhere, and Rick, his father, was very happy, and Marcus, a pedigree of the Motorsport New Zealand Elite Academy. So lots of positives there. But then it was on to the main man, 6-time NTT IndyCar champion Scott Dixon. Went out early in the morning, wasn't happy with the car. They decided to do an engine change after talking with Honda and themselves. The engine came out, spent most of the day doing that. It wasn't until nearly 3 o'clock that the car went back out in the heat of the day for Dixon, a position that he's just not really often seen at Indy. And he put the car in through his 4 laps to get into the show. Ultimately, at this stage, he was 17th as I'm recording this. Not a good spot for him, not happy, and I'm sure we'll see another run from Dixon before the day is over. But here's what he had to say after those first 4 laps. For you, sitting out a day as long as you have today, does that play on your mind at all, or is it still just business as normal?
No, it's just generally you're not going in ideal conditions. Much easier this morning. I think we would have run probably a mid to a high 232 if it was this morning. So it is what it is. We should have done the engine change last night. It seemed like it pulled definitely better, than what we had this morning. But can't change anything. So we'll work on it a little bit. If we get some better conditions this afternoon, we'll probably have another track at it.
I was going to say, what we've seen over the last couple of days, it's going to get cooler around 5 o'clock, isn't it? Potentially.
Yeah, maybe. Track temp, we'll see. I think temperature's probably going to hold on quite long today, so we'll see.
It all comes down to a week away yet anyway.
Obviously you want to qualify as high up as you can, but where we are at the moment, 17th or 18th, so we've got a little bit of work to do.
Go well, mate. Well, as I'm finishing off this, all 34 cars have now posted a time. VK got back out there as well, so we have cars in there. We have about an hour and a half left to go on this, the first day of qualifying. Who will make that 12? That's yet to be decided. Who will be on the back row? That's yet to be decided. So there's a lot of things that are going to happen in the next hour, but the Kiwis certainly are in the show. Dixon probably the most unhappiest of the whole lot. Not a place that we're used to seeing Dixon, that's for sure. And, like anything, you can win from anywhere in this race. It's just a case of how the race plays it out and what it does. And the race, of course, is still over a week away. So anything can happen there, and particularly in Indiana at this time of the year with the weather and the temperature and all of those factors. But day 1 of qualifying is done. We'll have another report for you tomorrow on day 2, which will cover, of course, that battle for the front row and the $100,000 US for taking pole position, and then the battle for the back row, and, of course, car number 34, whoever that may be, won't make the start for the Indy 500. Until tomorrow, it's Racing World from Indianapolis Motor Speedway, the racing capital of the world.